Hey there, this is Chris Goff, and in this short video, I want to give you some tips on what to say when sellers call from your direct mail efforts. Now, direct mail is definitely one of the best ways to advertise your business and to find those motivated sellers because you can market them in large batches, and it's very affordable compared to other marketing strategies. Okay, you mail out some postcards and a seller calls you. What do?
Freak out!
Do you wait for it to go to voicemail? Do you say, I wonder who's calling? Not sure. Maybe it's a telemarketer. Or if it's important, they'll leave a message. Now, if you're not good with speaking with people and identifying their motivation, have someone else answer the calls. Look, we can't be perfect at everything. But if it's just you, I want you to practice, and then practice in the mirror. And the best thing to work on is your initial response, such as, Hi, this is Chris with 360 Real Estate Solutions. Hey, Chris, I received this postcard and have a house that I'm looking to sell. Great. Thanks for taking the time to reach out to me. Now, I understand you have a home for sale. Can we start off by telling me the address? Great. Now, would you mind if I asked you a few questions about your home? So as you can see, this is a great way to start off the conversation, and of course you can tweak this as you see fit. Now, one of the things that I want to point out is that I asked questions. You see, asking questions keeps you in control of the conversation, and staying in control is one of the most important tips that I can give you because it also builds trust. Trust is going to relax the seller. They're going to be more open in the conversation and give you a lot more information than you would expect. It will also make you look professional, and hopefully it will get you an appointment to go and see the home. All right, let's jump into the questions you'll need to ask the seller, which will help you qualify their motivation, reason for selling, what strategies they may be open to, and most importantly, are you wasting your time with this seller? Now, as you can see here on the screen is we have a property pulled up. All I want you to do is simply scroll down to what I call executable step number 2 here. So once I go to step number 2, you're going to see, hey, if I needed to research a phone number, where you want to go is where we say phone scripts. Now, if you're initiating the phone call, these are some great scripts that you can follow. But in this example, we have somebody calling us. So we're going to skip down to step 2. Now, these are what I call the most basic questions. Now, although they kind of look bullet pointed here, I really want you to turn this into a conversation. So you just don't want to come across saying, is the property listed with a realtor? Yes or no? If so, when does the listing expire? Is the property vacant? No, you want to turn this into a conversation such as, let me ask, I know you're looking to sell. Is it currently listed with a realtor? Okay, great. Now, are you living in the property or is it sitting vacant? Does the property need any repairs? And if so, what do you think the home needs? So as you can see, you want to turn this into more of a conversation. And another great thing that I mentioned before, keep asking the questions. There's too many times where we pause, we freak out, we're worried about what the seller's going to say that you kind of lose focus on what you need to be asking, right? So I want you to stay in control, be confident when you do this. And I get it. Look, it takes practice. And the more that you do this, the better you're going to get at it. Now, one of the most important questions, may I ask why you're selling? You're going to get sellers responding to this in so many different ways, such as, oh, I just figured I'd throw it up on the market, see what I could get for it. And, if I can get what I can get for it, then I'll sell it. All the way down to, hey, there's a divorce situation, there's a health crisis, there's something very motivation that's going to create, hey, I have to sell this. I need the money. I want to get rid of the burden. Whatever that may be, we're going to try to get that out of them by simply saying, may I ask why you're selling? Okay. How long have you been trying to sell the home? This is a great reminder, especially for people that they have their property up for sale for maybe 6 to 9 months. It's a reminder of the pain of how long they've been trying to sell. Now, obviously, if they just put it up for sale, this question wouldn't be as valuable, but especially for people that have had their property on the market. May I ask, what are you asking for the home? Okay, so find out what is that price that they're looking to get. And through this conversation, you're going to find out, always try to look at what's their pet peeve. Is it, time? Is it the actual dollar amount that they need to receive on the home? Try to find out what that pet peeve is going to be. A lot of times investors come across as, hey, I could buy your house very quickly. Well, that works for a lot of people that are motivated on price, and the pet peeve is they need the money as quickly as possible. They need to get rid of this problem as quickly as possible, where you're going to find those sellers that they're really looking for tip-top, dollar there. And if they're looking for that top dollar, that also kind of signals me to say, kind of moves into, I'm going to slide down here, some of the additional questions, which would be, hey, would you be open to taking payments short term? That way I can find out if they open to more of a cash discount on their home, or they open to more of a term strategy such as a lease option or a seller financing. So I want you to be thinking these things as you're going through these questions. Is that price negotiable? And no matter what they say here, let me ask, if I could pay cash and close quickly, what would be the least amount you would accept for the home? And no matter what they say here, I want you to come back and say, is that the best you can do? Okay. And obviously you want to say that, you don't want to be mean. You want to say it in the right way, but it'll flow in the conversation as you keep asking questions. Is that the best you could do? And you'll be shocked on how much more the seller, I've literally had the seller drop it another 30 grand. It's like, is that the best you can do? Okay. So what is that new price? Now, let me ask, do you need to be cashed out, or would you accept monthly payments short term? Now, obviously this caters to more the lease option and seller financing strategy. So if you're not aware of those strategies, or you don't know them, of course you would not ask this question. But if you are, this is a great lead in just to see if they're open. Now, I get it. A lot of sellers are just going to come across and say, no, I just want to sell the house. I get that, right? But as you build this relationship, you kind of are planting that seed. And some sellers will ask, well, what do you mean by that? Okay, and then you can lead into all the benefits and things that those strategies, lease option, seller financing has, and just that will lead you into these additional questions. Okay, so go into those additionals if they're open to it. Okay, if they're not open to it, it's okay. You planted the seed. You could still come back and make multiple offers because you've already planted that seed. And that's one of the beauties of making multiple offers is, hey, I'm going to give you a cash offer. It's not going to be exactly what you want, but I could pay you more on the sales price if you were to take my lease option offer. Now, you're not going to get all your money today, but I can pay you more. So you're gonna give those multiple offers, but you're kind of planting those seeds here in the beginning. So if you need to go through the additional questions, obviously go through those additional questions. Any kind of conversational notes you can just write out here. The one thing that I want to caution you with is that don't pause these conversations and say, oh, I'm just taking notes. Take the notes after the call. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be these gaps of silence. And the last thing you want to do is do that because you want to stay in control by continuing the conversation. Now, could you ask some more questions? Absolutely. But these are going to be, I would say, the hardcore questions that you need to ask in order to qualify. Should I take the time to even go look at this property? Now, back in the day, if a seller literally talk to me, I'm like, can I come see it? Can I come see it? So I'd run over there and go see it. And I found myself, I learned a lot from wasting time that now I really try to qualify them as best as I can. When we get an appointment, that's the whole point, right? So if they seem motivated or potentially open, we want to go see that property, and any kind of appointment notes you would want to put in there. Then you could come back and add, okay, what were they saying? Oh, you type that out in your conversation notes. Now, one of the great things here is you can actually create your own custom script. So you might have a script just for, a property that is a rental property. That's one of the places I started, was just calling on properties that were for rent. And I said, hey, a lease option would be a perfect scenario because they're already willing to accept monthly payments. why wouldn't they? Maybe they'd just be open to selling it. This would be a much better strategy. So you could create multiple types of scripts. If you have virtual assistants, this will be a great, you create your own scripts just for them. Any kind of specific scenario, such as maybe a divorce situation, you have a script for, a tax lien, you have a script for. But these are going to be your hardcore questions. So you definitely want to incorporate these questions into any other questions that you may come up with. So hopefully some of these tips have helped you, and I'll leave you with this is you stay in control of the conversation by asking questions. And by doing that, you're ultimately going to build trust. And at the end of the day, if they trust you, they're more open to listening to you. They're more open to listening to your offers. Okay, so they understand. I think most sellers understand, look, it's obviously a business. You have to make money, but at the same time, you can make it a win-win. So hopefully these tips helped, and look forward to seeing you on our next training.